evening, everybody. Hey. So glad you guys are all here. So glad to see a lot of friendly faces that we know, youth group, friends. If you came here with your youth group, can I hear you give a whoop whoop? Whoa, that was really sad. Youth pastors, you should be ashamed of your group right now. They didn't even whoop whoop with me. We'll try again. If you came with a youth group, that means you came as a group. It's not your sister or your mom or dad that brought you. You came with a youth group. Let me hear you give a whoop whoop. There we go. Okay, that's what I thought. There's more than like 2 of you out there. So I'm Pastor Liz. I am the family life pastor here at New Life, over kids all the way through high school. And we're so glad that you came out tonight. Who's excited to hear Jason David? Yeah, he can hear you. So I know he's doing his jumping jacks back there, prepping to come out and give you the time of your life. So I hope you're excited. A couple quick announcements before we get going. If you've seen on the screen, there's a texting number. If you don't have a cell phone, you might have to get a buddy and have them text for you. But if you'll text your first and last name to that number, then we're going to put your name in a drawing. And at the end, we're giving away some Amazon gift cards, GameStop, DQ. Oh, wow, look at everybody grab their phones. Oh, all of a sudden, everybody's interested. So we're giving away a lot of great stuff, coffee, just like lots of super stuff. So you don't want to miss it at the end. Also, who are my Hamilton lovers? Anybody enjoy the... Wow. Anybody? Okay, I see you. I see those hands. Awesome. So if you know anything about Jason or My Tribe, you might have already heard a little preview of the song. He did a little spoof called Father, Father Abraham, based off of Hamilton. So check this out, and then we're going to welcome him to the stage.
How does a Hebrew nomad, just a man with no land, married to his barren sister Sarah, who's got no lads, known as Abram, but name changed to Abraham, become the father of a nation? How does this Hebrew nomad then become a soul dad to an entire group of people who are known as Christians? Listen, this is the story of his fame. You need to know his name. What's his name? My name is Father, Father Abraham. My name is Father, Father Abraham. And there's a lot of kids I haven't had, but just you wait, just you wait.
Genesis 11:27's where we meet him, leading his breed and singing, I am headed for my Eden, being free. He was becoming a new man, moving to a new land.
A new man moving to a new land. A new man moving to a new land. A new man moving to a new land. A new man, just you wait. Father, Father Abraham.
What is up, everybody? It is so good to be here. So we run our own, like a mini Netflix called MyTribe.watch. It's a streaming platform, and thousands of families all over America tune in. And right now we are actually filming a My Tribe episode. That's why I was out there making an idiot of myself. Can you guys be in this episode? Would that be cool? So here's what we're gonna do. We want to open up this episode with you. So I am going to go back over there, and then I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. And then I want you to make the craziest noise. Stand on your feet. I don't know if you're allowed to stand on the chairs, but like ask for forgiveness afterwards. And just rock the house. If you want, you can come down to the front. Can we do that? All right, let's stretch. Don't be, I know this is like the back to school bash, but don't be like too cool for school, right? Don't be like, I'm too cool to like smile. Like, ready? Are you guys ready? You can help me out? All right. Raise your hand if you're gonna help me out with this. All right, you ready? You guys ready? Getting like self-hyped? All right. This gotta be, I want you to scare me with how excited you are. I want you to make me run out that door afraid because you are so energetic. Are you ready? All right, get real quiet. 2, 1. Make some noise! Woo! What is up? Sullivan, Illinois, coming at you from Central Illinois. Woo! You are now on My Tribe. You are now famous. That was great. That was really great. My heart started pounding a little faster there. That did slightly scare me. Thank you. Thank you for that. We all need that in our lives. So cool to be here in like 100-degree weather. I love it. So I'm from San Diego, and in San Diego we are wimps. We wear jackets if it's 65 degrees. We're like, oh, it's cold. And if it's 75 degrees, we're like, I guess we're staying inside today. This is just too much. So this is crazy that I love that you guys came out here and you're just like having fun in this like awesome weather, which you're probably just like used to. You're like, Jason, what are you talking about? This is like life. But thank you so much for coming out to this. We're gonna have some fun tonight. If for those of you who don't know, if you're like, why does that guy sound like Sid the Sloth? I'll explain. No, I am not the actor who played Sid the Sloth. Not him. I lost 80% of my tongue to stage 4 cancer, and 80%, which is, most of it. And then they took my arm right here, and if you get closer later, there's a bunch of weird skin here and a big missing vein. And they took that and they made a new tongue. And they put that in my mouth. And that's why I talk like a cartoon character. That's why. You guys want to, because you're youth, right? So we can be gross, right? You want to hear something gross? Who wants to hear something gross? Yeah. I want to hear something gross. So you know how your arm grows hair? So when they took a piece of my arm and made a new tongue, it started growing hair. It was very fruitful. It was abundant. It was like having just a patch of grass in your mouth, constantly rubbing the top of your rooftop. And I hated it. It made me want to gag. But good news, I had chemotherapy and radiation, and they zapped, they were trying to kill the cancer, but they also got all the hair. So I am now bald. My tongue is bald. But I literally have like my arm in my mouth. Like most people, they say like, oh, sometimes I talk with my foot in my mouth, but I literally talk with my arm in my mouth every day. So in case you were wondering, you're like, well, what's wrong with, why I can't, like, why does he sound like Ice Age? Like, we're good. That's why. Because I know many of you were thinking it. Like, because honestly, Sid was my favorite character growing up. I actually used to do impressions of him. Be careful who you do an impression. If you start doing like Arnold Schwarzenegger, one day you wake up and be like, oh no, I'm stuck like this. I used to do Sid the Sloth all the time. They left without me. They do this every year. Why? Doesn't anyone love me? Isn't there anyone who cares about Sid the Sloth? Hey, white body, come in next time. Like, now I can do it without even trying. So thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. But I want to let you know I didn't just survive cancer. I've also been bitten by a seagull and sprayed by a skunk and chased by a beaver, ambushed by a possum, stung by a bee. And I'm going to, if you were here this morning, I even talked about when I was surrounded by 3 sharks with my wife in La Jolla. That was scary. But I have more animal stories to tell you. This next one was actually scarier than the sharks and actually left me with some bite marks. And I would like to, I don't know why animals don't like me, but let me tell you about it. Would you guys like to hear about this? All right. Now, as I tell you this story, some of you are going to think, okay, he's making this up. This is weird. This is too weird. Everything I'm about to tell you is true, guys. My life is weird. Deal with it. Like, everything I am about to tell you really happened. And everything I'm about to tell you about my brother 100% true. All right. So, my brother and I, we went to college in Point Loma, which is does someone know Point Loma? Yeah? What? That's crazy. Okay, so we're in Point Loma, and Point Loma basically is San Diego, but lots of drugs and beach. Okay, so I didn't do drugs, in case you were like, why is you hyper? I was born hyper. All right, so we're at the beach, and I was a very lonely college student, right? Very lonely college student, and I needed a friend. I didn't really have any friends, growing up, because I was very different. So, I'm with my brother, we're at the beach, and I see a dog on the beach. No owner, just by himself, chilling like a villain. He's a big, black Rottweiler dog. And I was like, he looks lonely, and I am lonely. Maybe we could be friends. Now my brother, he had a backpack, like a magical backpack. It wasn't actually magical, but that backpack had like the most random stuff. He'd be like, does anyone need a paper clip? Because I brought some. Like, why? Why do we need paper clips? Like, he just had everything. He went to Walmart, and he just bought, like, let's see, maybe a rattlesnake might bite me one day, so let me just buy this rattlesnake kit. Like, he had everything in this backpack, which was very helpful in this moment. So I see this dog. I would like to be friends with this dog. But how do you go up to a dog and start a conversation? I don't know. So I said, hey, Steven, because that's my brother's name. And so I called him that. Hey, Steven, do you have a tennis ball? Of course he did, in his backpack. Why? He doesn't play tennis. I have no idea. Maybe he took it from an old person on the walker. I don't know. But he had a tennis ball in his backpack. He grabbed that tennis ball. He gave it to me. I walked down to the beach, went up to this dog, and thought, I would like to be your friend. He didn't talk back to me. Hurt, but that's okay. Didn't give up. I took that tennis ball, and I threw it. He saw me throw the ball, and was like, went after the ball, rabies coming out and everything, grabbed it, came back to me, dropped it on my feet. Now we have a relationship, right? We've now established a friendship. I'm feeling pretty good about myself because I was very pathetic. So I took the tennis ball, I threw it farther. Guess what? He went and got it, brought it back. I'm loving it. Like, I'm starting to not feel so sad and alone. And then I thought, the sun is setting. It's feeling like this beautiful Marley and me moment before the dog dies. This is great. Spoiler alert. So, I would like to just go run with this dog. That'd be fun. I'm just gonna run along the beach at sunset in Point Loma. The dog next to me, like, that would make me feel, very, like, not alone in this world. So, I start running with this dog. It was really cool. Like, we're just running together. Like, it's just him and me. I don't know where his owner is, or if he has an owner. He might, I don't know. But we're having fun. As we are running, there comes this moment when I look down at my side, and he is no longer running with me. He is now running at me. This friendship has quickly turned. I am now the tennis ball, and he is trying to grab me. So I'm running, he's behind me, and I'm like, what do you do when a dog chases you? Oh, I know, I'll run faster. So I start running faster. So he starts running faster. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can juke him out, but he's black, I'm white, I had no shot. I got no moves. I didn't make the basketball team, guys. So I'm trying to juke him out, and he's like, what is this white boy doing? No way. So he's gaining ground on me. All of a sudden, I start feeling his claw marks on the back of my legs, scratching me. He's getting closer and closer. So I'm like, Steven! And my brother had a spear. He had a spear because he was on the javelin team, and they actually give spears to students, and students throw it, and they call it a sport. And Steven would just walk around on campus with his javelin spear. So I said, Steven, spear it! Not Holy Spirit, spear it! Kill the puppy. Take your javelin. Do what you were born to do. Kill this dog. Now, I'm feeling his paws on the back of my shoulders. I feel a hot breath on my neck, and his teeth are clamping down on my neck. And I start picturing I am going to die. I'm going to be eaten alive in college. So my brother says, Jason, quick, run into the water. So I run into the water, but guess what? Dogs don't care. They love water. So now I'm going to drown and be eaten. A terrible way to die. This was before cancer. Cancer almost didn't have to do anything. Cancer was like, hey, the dog will take care of it. So as I'm standing there in the water, floating, not really standing, just floating, and the dog is coming closer and closer, there's this little girl on the beach, and she like whistles. And I would do that for you, but I can't whistle. So whoop, I don't know, whoop, whoop. Oh, thank you. She whistles, and the dog hears that whistle. He gets out of the water and he walks up to her. And she's like, sit! He's like, ah! And then, as manly as I could, I walked out of that water and then went home. And we put Neosporin on my neck and Band-Aids and I didn't make a friend that day. So that's my story of a dog. I've also been stuck in the middle of the ocean. I have really bad ocean stories. One time I went with my friend. He's a Navajo Indian. I don't know if that's important for the story, but it might be. And him and I, we went swimming, and he was like really good swimming, like really good. And so we go out there, and we went past the waves because that's just a trend in my life because I think somehow that makes you cool, but it really doesn't. So I go past the waves, and we're swimming, and then finally he's like, hey, you know, your parents are on the shore, probably looking for us. We should go home. So he starts swimming back. At this point, I don't know what happened to him. Like, honestly, like, he's just a good swimmer. I don't know. He just left me. And I was just like there by myself, swimming, and I was enjoying the day. Beautiful day. I was singing like U2 songs. It's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. I'm just like singing Ariana Grande, like whatever, just like singing weird stuff. 20 minutes later, I'm still swimming. Still swimming back to shore. And at one point I'm thinking like, you know, this is kind of taking a long time. I'm getting a little tired, but I'll just keep swimming. And all of a sudden, something really cool happened. Have you ever been like driving on like the freeway or, I don't know, do you guys have freeways? You've been driving on the country road and then you saw like a car on fire or something, or just like something crazy. And part of you was like, oh no, and part of you was like, oh cool. You know what I'm talking about? When you see something that's like not good, but then it's so out of the ordinary that you're kind of excited that you were there to witness it. Anyone want to be real? So here's what happened. This red lifeguard Jeep pulls up on the beach. And part of me was like, oh no, someone's in trouble. The other part of me was like, oh cool, we're gonna watch a rescue, right? I was like really excited. So this lifeguard, he jumps out of it. He's got like the short red shorts. He's got like the big floaty thing. And he just like books into the water. You know, he's got like the sunscreen on his nose because that's the only part that burns or something. And he's like, goes into the water. He's swimming out. And I'm like looking around like, oh, right, who's he gonna rescue? Like that girl looks like she needs help. Swims past her. Maybe it's that guy, he's bobbing, swims past him. Starts coming towards me. And I turn around and I didn't see anyone behind me. So I thought, oh no, someone must be drowning because there's no one behind me. They must be under the water. But no, he comes up right to me, and now the entire beach is watching. The entire beach is watching this 19-year-old kid talk to a lifeguard. The lifeguard comes up to me, he's like, hey, bro, because that's how we talk in San Diego. Hey, bro, hey, dude, hey, do you know what you're swimming in? And I was like, the Pacific Ocean? Like, what kind of question? I'm swimming in the ocean. And he was like, you are stuck in a riptide. You have not moved for 20 minutes. I have been watching your head bob up and down in the same spot You have made zero progress. Your mom has yelled at me to come get you. She is praying for you. Your dad has been running up and down the beach screaming. And I said, wait a minute. My father ran? My dad ran? My dad doesn't run. Whoa! Blew my mind. I thought, like, man, I must have been in real trouble. He's like, yes, your dad's been running. And then he said the weirdest thing to me. He said, grab my floaty. And he gave me a floaty. And then I grabbed it, and we started swimming in. And, like, I'm straight, but I remember thinking this dude's legs are strong. Because, like, he started swimming back. And it was crazy, guys. I held on to the floaty. And as he began to swim, all of a sudden my body went, oh. And it was the most relaxing trip. It was the most relaxing, like, 20-second trip because he was really fast. And here's what's crazy. I didn't know I was so tired. I didn't know that until I allowed him to rescue me. And then I realized, oh, I've been struggling this whole time. See, I didn't understand why my parents were freaking out. I didn't understand why my mom was praying for me. I didn't understand why my dad was running because I didn't think I needed to be saved. I didn't think I needed a savior. I didn't need rescued. I was doing fine. But if the lifeguard hadn't come and got me, I would have eventually gotten so tired and been swept away. Some of us are tired of our parents nagging us, and mom's always praying for me, and they're always telling me to go to church, and we're sick of it. But for many of us, they see that we have been stuck in the same spot, and we're getting tired, and if we're not careful, life will take us out. And it's okay to get help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be like, yeah, I need a lifeguard. That would be great. I need a lifeguard. So I survived dogs. I survived the ocean. But there's one more place I want to take you to that I survived. I'm going to take you to a sheep farm. Let's go to a sheep farm. It's the largest sheep farm in California. What was happening was my friend and I had this genius idea. We said, let's go find a bunch of sheep, and we'll take pictures with the sheep. I'll dress up like David, and, you know, I was writing a book at the time. The book was called When God Goes Kanye. When God Goes Kanye, which means when God interrupts you to remind you that he's in the spotlight and not you. So, Kanye. So, believe it or not, this was before Kanye went real crazy. So we're writing this book, and we thought, let's do a chapter on sheep and Jesus and being and David being a good shepherd. So I dressed up. I brought. Would you like to see pictures? Let me show you that first picture. This is me. I need to explain this picture. We're gonna keep that picture there for a while. I need to explain something. So I need you to know something really important. That all the family Christian bookstores have been lying to you all these years because they made us believe that sheep were cute. And they are not. I showed up, and there was like thousands of sheep. And when I showed up, they were all just like screaming, and they smelled terrible. And like, they make weird noises. Like, when I picture a sheep, I always picture a sheep going like, bah, you know, like something cute. Bah, bah, you know. That's not what they sound like. This is no joke. I'm not exaggerating. This is what they sound like. Bah! And that is no joke. I want you to imagine 1,000 smelly sheep looking at me going, ah, 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 ah. They sounded like they were, it made me want to be, like, I thought I was going to puke. There was this nice old lady. She was like in her 80s, a really older lady. She was in charge of all these sheep. It was impressive. I went up to her and I was like, hey, do you have a cute sheep? I literally asked that. I was like, I'm doing a photo shoot for this Kanye God book thing. I would like a cute sheep. So she's like, I'll bring you the youngest sheep I have. Okay. That is not a baby. This is what she brought me. All right. This is not a baby sheep. If you look closely, I want you to notice this sheep has horns. You know what I call that? That's a demon sheep. Or it might be a teenager sheep. I don't know. So, here's the thing. Can we go back to that first picture where I was holding it? Sorry, I'm going to throw you a curveball real quick. So, take another... Okay, so, here... Oh, gosh. Are you guys ready for this? All right. So, she hands me this sheep. And she's like, okay, now, when you hold a sheep, there's a very specific way you have to hold it. All right? All right? So, put your right hand here. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to put its front legs over that hand. Cool. Totally cool, right? Now take your left hand. Take your left hand. Now, when God made sheep, he made a tail like a little flap, and that flap catches everything. And that flap gets crusty. Brown, yellow, green, colors that God didn't even make yet, just holding on to dear life on that little tail, waiting for a quick flick to go have a new life, just a crusty butt. And she told me to take my left hand and plop it on that crusty butt. I could not eat a burrito for a month because every time my hand was near my nose, I was reminded of that crusty butt. I was like, I'm gonna need a long fork and some soup because I don't want to smell my own hand. I smell like a crusty butt. So I'm holding Mr. Crusty Butt. And my videographer, she's getting pictures and video. But that's a teenager sheep. It was getting heavy. It was so heavy. And look, I got noodles for arms, all right? Cancer's not even an excuse. I was always weak, you know? So I'm holding this sheep, and I'm like, Dave. Dave was the name of the guy videoing. I'm like, Dave, I can't hold this sheep anymore. It's been like 30 minutes, and can you take the sheep? So he puts his camera down. He walks up to me. I'm like, now remember, you have to put your right hand here, put your left hand here. Got it? So he goes to grab the sheep, and this sheep knew how weak I was and waited for the opportune moment to kick me in the stomach and run, and that flap was just like, flap, 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 just throwing pecks at me. Whatever it was throwing was not from Jesus. And oh my goodness. So he starts running. And I'm like, oh no, I lost another animal because it's happened before. So I was like, bro, let's not tell the old lady. Let's go problem solve. We'll go get the sheep. So we're running after the sheep. This sheep is like, you know, just flapping. And then he gets stuck in a fence. I was like, perfect. You know, we can get him. So we go up to him. We're trying to help him get out of the fence. And he's like, no. He's like using his tail as like a shield. So we get him unstuck from the fence. And you know what he does? Takes off to a log. He's running up to this log. He could jump over it, but decides to be a genius and go under the log and get stuck again. And I have always wondered why, out of all of the animals in God's kingdom, he chose a sheep to compare us humans to more than any other animal. I mean, he could have chosen, like, I don't know, a hippo. He could have been like, humans, you are like hippos. And I am a hippo shepherd. I don't know if the hippos have shepherds, but like, he could have picked a platypus. You are like a platypus, and I am your platypus shepherd. I don't know what you are. Could have picked puppies. Could have picked any animal to compare you and I to. But Jesus was like, you are like sheep. And I never understood that until I met that sheep. Because every time I would get that sheep unstuck, was he grateful? No. He would run away again and get himself stuck. And I would try to help him, and he would reject my help. But eventually, he would need my help. He would let me help him just so he could run away again. We finally had to call the old lady and say, "Ma'am, we lost your sheep." To which she laughed at me and hung up and saved the day and got her sheep back. But since then, I've learned a lot about sheep. And there's something I want you to know. Sheep hate flies. Sheep hate flies. Say that with me. Sheep hate flies. One more time. Sheep hate flies. That's all. Thank you so much for having me. Let's pray. I'm just kidding. Let's not. Can you imagine? Like, I went to the sermon and I learned that sheep hate flies, and somehow that really resonated. Let me tell you why sheep hate flies. This is why. Because flies, can I come down here? Is that allowed? Is this a lava? Okay. Because flies will fly up the nostrils of sheep and lay eggs in their head. True. This is so fun because, like, the guys are always like, yeah, and the girls are like, oh, compassion, you know. It's really nice. Flies will fly up the nostrils of sheep and lay eggs in their head. And guess what? Sheep hate that. Why? Because, yeah, sheep hate flies. That's my time. I'm just kidding. Sheep hate flies. So here's what happened. They start laying eggs, and when these eggs hatch, the maggots burrow themselves into the skin. And sheep hate that because it's annoying, obviously. It also creates infection, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. And sheep have these things called hooves, so they can't pick their nose. And this becomes a problem because sheep have these flies and these eggs and these maggots in their nose, and they want to get rid of them, and they don't know what to do. So, here is what sheep does. When a sheep wants to get rid of the flies and the eggs, he will find a rock. Bang, 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 bang! And he will hit his head on that rock. And guess what? It works. It works. For a little while, that sheep cannot feel the pain anymore. In fact, that sheep can't feel anything. He has become numb to life. And that relief that means a lot to that sheep. Hey, cool, for a moment, I don't feel flies. I can almost pretend like flies aren't there. But here's the problem. The next morning, when that sheep wakes up, he still has flies, he still has maggots, he still has eggs, but now he's got a headache, or what some people might call a hangover from the night before. He hasn't solved anything. He's only made things worse. So, you know what that sheep does? When he realizes that rock didn't work, he finds a bigger rock. Bang, 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 bang! Guess what? It works. For a moment, that sheep forgets that he had flies, even forgets his name. He's become numb to the pain. But guess what? The next day, he wakes up with a big old bump on his head, and he still has flies. So what does he do? He finds a bigger rock. Bang, 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 bang. Are we okay? Is this too loud? Are we okay? And guess what? It works for a moment. And then the pain comes back, and the pain is even worse. He becomes addicted to the sensation. And if that sheep has no shepherd, that sheep will go from rock to rock to rock, trying to numb the pain until one day he hits his head one too many times and he kills himself. And we can look at that sheep and we can say, you are such a dumb sheep. But we as humans, are we any different? Because if it's not a rock, it's a razor. And if it's not a razor, it's a pill. And if it's not a pill, it's alcohol abuse. It's a toxic sexual relationship. It's something that for a moment could numb the pain. It's cutting. It's self-injury. It's the party lifestyle of trying to get so intoxicated that you forget your problems. It's those pills. It's those drugs. It's whatever it takes to numb the pain, because life sucks. Life is hard. Life hurts. And sometimes, Jason, I just need a rock. I know it's not good for me, but nothing else is working. And I'm tired of this pain. Some of us cut ourselves because the pain inside hurts so much that you would rather feel something on the outside to replace the pain that is inside. Some of us hurt ourselves because we think we deserve to feel pain. We think it's our fault that our family doesn't get along. We think it's our fault that people don't like us at school. And so we hurt ourselves. Some of us have become addicted to a rock. We've been trying to numb the pain, and it's not working. It's not working. For a little while, yes, it's numbing the pain. For a little while, I forget, Jason, when I go to those parties, when I'm at those parties, man, like, I kind of forget that I hate my dad. I kind of forget that I'm tired of being bullied by my own brother. When I go to those parties, man, like, I forget it's nice. I get to escape. Yeah, but here's the thing. When you wake up the next morning, you haven't solved anything. But you may have just added a few bumps to your head. You may have just added a possible addiction to your life. So, what does that sheep do? Listen, I've been on my deathbed before. I talked about it this morning. I've been in that dark moment where I wanted to kill myself. I know what that feels like. When you find yourself wanting to hurt yourself or kill yourself, here's what's really happening. You're giving in to this thing called hopelessness. Hopelessness is the idea that we are stuck. Hopelessness is the belief that my life will not get better. Hopelessness is the idea that life will only go downhill from there. And when you give into that, you give in to hopelessness, that leads to depression and anxiety and wanting to hurt yourself or kill yourself or find a rock, a drug, substance abuse, something, a toxic sexual relationship, just something that can numb the pain. And it doesn't work. But here is where we have some hope. Because when a sheep has a good shepherd, this is what happens. Shepherds would have oil on them. And this oil would contain ingredients that would act as an insect repellent and begin to soothe and heal the pain. And this is why David said, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He anoints my head with oil." Because when a good shepherd sees that sheep hitting its head on a rock, that shepherd will pick up the sheep and anoint his head with oil. And that oil will cause the flies to leave. It will cause the maggots to die. And it will begin to heal and restore that sheep. The only hope for that sheep is a good shepherd. And Jesus came and said, "I am your good shepherd." I know you've been hitting yourself against a rock, and I see you, and I want to help you. Would you let me save you? Let me rescue you. Let me pick you up in my arms and anoint your head with the only thing that can heal you. But it takes you saying, "Yes, Jesus, I will allow you to be my good shepherd." You know that God owns everything? God owns everything. Like, God owns mountains and flowers. Like, he owns wolves and little bunnies. Crazy spectrum. But there's one thing that God does not own, and that's your heart. It's the only thing he doesn't own. And he's saying, "Hey, would you give me that too? Would you allow me to be your shepherd? Would you admit that sometimes you feel like a sheep and sometimes you use rocks to bang your head against? Would you just admit that you need a rescuer, a savior? Would you admit that you need a lifeguard? Or are you going to be so proud and so prideful and put up a wall against God until one day you go too far? I've seen too many people. I've had friends in college who killed themselves because they were too prideful to get help. It doesn't make you less of a man or a woman to ask for help. It makes you wise. And I came to that place where I was struggling with PTSD and depression, and I knew I need to get help. And I was a pastor. It's okay to ask for help. And it starts by admitting that you need a good shepherd. By admitting that you need a savior and a lifeguard. And I came to let you know that his name is Jesus. Would you close your eyes right now, right where you're at? Just close your eyes, don't mess around. Just close your eyes right where you're at. Right now, I'm talking straight to you. I want you to picture right now in your mind, what rock have you been banging your head against? What drug? What toxic relationship? What substance? What type of self-injury? What rock is in your life? I want you to picture it. And maybe it's more than one rock. What have you been using to numb the pain? Some rocks are big. Keep your eyes closed and picture it. Some rocks are big. Some rocks are drugs and addictions. And some rocks, honestly, are small. Some of us use video games to numb the pain. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with video games, but sometimes we'll sit there for 8 hours at a time, and if we be honest, the only reason we're addicted to that game is because we're tired of the pain and we're looking for a way to escape. And there's nothing wrong with playing video games, but are you using that as a rock to ignore the pain that you're actually feeling? Are you using Netflix and YouTube so that you can just binge watch for hours and not have to deal with the fact that you need to get help? What rock have you been using as a distraction from getting help. And I want to pray right now that you would bring that rock to the altar tonight and say, God, I don't want to deal with this rock anymore. I don't want to be using anything as a way to cope with pain. God, I'm here to admit that I need a good shepherd, and I would like you to lead me and to help me and to heal me. Just bow your heads and close your eyes right where you're at. I want to pray. I want to pray for you. Can I tell you something? Jesus is not mad at you. He's not disappointed in you. I didn't come to preach this message to make you feel bad about your rock, but rather to help you see that you've had a rock and there's a better solution. And his name is Jesus. And he has his arms wide open saying, let me pick you up and carry you and be your lifeguard and your savior. I'm not mad at you. I'm madly in love with you. And it breaks my heart to see you breaking your life, and I would like to lead you. So we're going to pray right now for anyone who tonight is ready to give up that rock and say, Jesus, I want you to be my shepherd. Would you just bow your heads, close your eyes, no one looking around? But if you are here and that message resonated with you, I'm not going to make you come up. I'm not going to make you stand, but I would like to be able to look you in the eye and pray over you. So, no one looking around. But if this message resonated with you and you're like, Jason, I have a rock and I would like to give up that rock, I want you to just look at me in the eyes, to just lift your head and look me in the eyes and just nod at me so I know I'm praying for you. Awesome. Eyes all over the place looking at me. All right, let's pray. Would everyone stand to your feet right now? Would you stand to your feet? God, we come to you right now, admitting that we've got some rocks and addictions in our life, things that we have been using to numb the pain. And God, it hurts. And we sometimes don't know what to do. So we're coming to you right now, Jesus, and saying, I will follow you. I will be your sheep. Would you be my shepherd? Would you heal me and help me? Will you just lift your hands with me right now? And let's just pray. God, we just pray for every person who's in this room tonight who lifted their eyes and looked at me and said, I want to make Jesus my shepherd. I want to give up my rock. I pray that right now you would give them the courage and the boldness to get the help they need, to take the next step, to begin to follow you with all of their hearts. The one thing that they've been holding back from you, I pray that tonight they would give it to you. I pray for healing. I pray for those who have been cutting themselves and hurting themselves, that would end tonight. That they would see that they are loved and that they have value. That they would see that they don't need to resort to any more cutting, because Jesus, you did all the cutting on the cross. You allowed your hands to be nailed to that cross. You allowed yourself to feel every type of pain imaginable so that you can relate to us. So Jesus, we give our heart to you. We give our lives to you. We make you our good shepherd. And we are laying down our rock tonight. Now, we're going to do something really special right now. And it'll take some courage. It'll take some bravery. But sometimes when we make a mental commitment, it helps to do something on the outward to demonstrate that. So here's what I want you to do. You can put your hands down real quick for a moment. Here's what I want you to do. If tonight, and I don't care if you're a kid or an adult or a baby and you can crawl, but here's what we're going to do. if you have a rock, and I think most of us do, and you're willing to lay that rock at the altar, I'm going to invite you to walk down here, tap one of these rocks, and as you tap it, I want you to imagine that you are dropping rocks at this altar and you are letting it go and saying, God, I'm giving you my rock and I want to follow you. So I'm opening this up right now. If you want to come and demonstrate that you are giving up this rock and have the courage and the boldness to get out of your seat, touch the rock, say a prayer, and I'm going to be praying over you. So it's open. You just come on down. You say, God, I'm giving up this rock. I'm giving up my rock. And Jesus, I need you. Jesus, I'm tired of the drug abuse. I'm tired of hurting myself. I'm tired of the addictions. I'm tired of replacing you with things that distract me from getting help. And tonight, I want to demonstrate my commitment by pretending that I am leaving my rock at this stage tonight. And I'm going back to my seat without that rock. Come on. We're giving up our rocks tonight. And the baby is doing it too. That's awesome. God, I just pray for these students who are here making this commitment. God, there is so much pain in this room. There is so much heartbreak in this room. There is so much disappointment in this room from things that have been done to these kids, from adults to bullies, to friends at school. But God, we invite you right now into our hearts and our souls and to be our comforter and our friend, to be our father for those of us who just need a good father. Jesus, would you be our father to the fatherless? Would you be our friend to the friendless? Would you be our brother to those who have gone through life without a sibling or a sibling who was cruel to them? God, would you heal the broken pieces of our heart? Put us back together. I want you to look at me real quick. This is awesome what you are doing right now. This is awesome what you are doing right now. But this is not the end. This is the beginning. Because now it is so important that you tell someone tonight what you did so that they can help you. A parent, a pastor, a mentor, someone you trust that you can say, hey, pull them aside tonight or sometime this week and say, hey, I know you saw me go up there. I want to tell you why. Now, would you walk with me on this journey? Would you help me? Because it's very easy to go back to that rock. So I need some accountability. Would you help me? Maybe tell the person, you know, I'm bringing my razors to youth group. I'm going to give them to you. I'm bringing the eraser that I've been using on my skin, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm bringing those pills, and I'm going to give it to you. Not for you to use, but for you to flush down the toilet. They're not giveaways for the next youth event. Get some help in your life. This is the first step, and it's the beginning of an exciting step of getting free from these rocks. But now, as a church, we need people to come around us and walk us through. In fact, Liz, would you tell us some next steps that we can do from here?
Man, we're so proud of you that prayed tonight, whether it's the first time you prayed that or whether you're coming back home and you're saying, listen, I've been out there and there's nothing for me. I'm coming home. It's the start of your journey, and we don't want you to take that journey alone. We encourage you tonight to text the word follow to that number. Maybe you texted your name in for the drawing later. And before you leave tonight, if you made that decision, if you prayed, back in the back, if you look, you see this banner that's lit up. It says, I have decided. And tonight you decided something. You made a choice, and we want to come alongside you. We want to give you a free gift, this book, and it will help you on your journey. It will help you, disciple you through. There are video links that will be sent to you as you read each chapter and help you on this walk that you're in. And we're so proud of you and what you've done tonight. It takes a big step, not just to pray the prayer, but to come down here and to lay stuff down that you've been carrying for so long. So we encourage you to do that tonight. You guys so thankful for Jason and what he did tonight.
So can you guys go back to your seat really quick and grab your phone? Get your phone out. If you came down here, we're gonna do this right now. Get your phone out. And if you came down here, I want you to text it right now, because it's so easy to like walk out of here and be like, what was that number? What did you say? Something about follow. So right now, get your phones out. This is like the one time where you can get your phone out in church. But don't go to Facebook or Fortnite or whatever the cool kids play. Fortnite. And text that number, or text the word follow to 217-262-6677. Do that right now, and then make sure you get that book.
Awesome. So we want to, while you're doing that, I'm going to have my special friend come out. Tina's going to help me out tonight. We have a couple cool things going on, not just the giveaways we're doing, but also tonight we have a little special treat for you as you're leaving this evening. Our Pastor Dave Dolan, senior pastor here, is giving everybody ice cream on their way out. So as you're dismissed tonight, you can snag some of that on your way out. And also, if you're a youth pastor or a parent or somebody besides a teenager, because sometimes teenagers don't have very much money, we know that. If you were blessed tonight and you want to give back into the ministry and to what we did tonight and bringing Jason here and all of the stuff going on, there are some red boxes as you exit, and you can give toward New Life. New Life check. You can put it in an envelope. You can throw cash in there. We don't care. But all of that will go to help support what's going on tonight. And we sure hope that you guys will come out if we do something incredible like this again. We would love to have you be part of what we're doing. So, I wish I had a drum roll. We have a few things tonight. Let me go through. I hope you texted your name in there. Oh, thank you. See, it's it's like a mix of rain and drum roll, really. We need some we need like a thunderclap every so often. There, see, oh, it's raining. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. So we have a $25 GameStop gift card. Adrielle Boyle, is she here? Did she make it? Adrielle.
You must be present to win.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Right.
Oh, no. We're going to keep drawing. Is she here? There she is.
There she is. Awesome.
Your dad might take this. Your dad might take it from you.
Does anybody like Dairy Queen?
DQ. DQ. $15 at DQ.
Crystal Cuddle.
Everybody loves free stuff. I love free stuff.
All right, then we got some giant bags full of candy. Everybody likes candy, right? Audrey Brownlee.
Whoop, whoop. We have just like I'm sure your parents are going to love us.
I'm really hoping
I'm so
my
sorry.
kids don't win
I'm
this.
so sorry, Jana and Charlie. I'm so sorry.
Rena Bell.
Is she coming down? I can't see.
Coming.
You say Rena?
Yeah.
Rena Bell?
Rena
Oh,
Bell.
here. Oh, gotta come on down.
Come on down. John Harshbarger.
I hope you like candy, because we have a lot of it. Yes, you're gonna be the favorite person tonight.
Is John in here? John Harshbarger?
Oh, his daughter's coming. Here she comes.
Stars coming. Okay.
He may have the baby. She's gonna get the candy anyway. You know
That's
that.
true. All right. Angela McRill.
Angela, where are you?
Trying to get it. All right, Michelle Villalobos. Villalobos. Is she here?
Is she here? Is she here?
So hard to see.
I don't see anybody moving.
All right. It should be running on down, right?
I know, like Price is Right, screaming at the
RJ.
top of your lungs, waving your arms like a freak.
RJ Ellis.
That's really how we prefer
RJ?
that you respond, is screaming and
RJ.
flailing, if at all possible. That'd be great.
I feel like if they give extra excitement, I'll put their name back in and they can
There,
win it.
right?
Marilyn Montague.
She's excited. Are you gonna scream? Here she comes! Yes,
all
thank you.
right.
Finally, somebody's so excited. I can always count on you to be
Samantha
excited. I can
Samantha
always.
Coons.
Samantha.
Michael Graber. Michael Graber.
Oh, we have somebody excited. This is good.
We got 2 more bags.
We have 1,000 bags, so I hope you're here all night, guys.
All right.
Everybody gets the bag.
No, it's just my first name. Stacy Hockaday.
I think this is the last bag, right? One more
No,
bag.
one more. One more bag.
One more bag. You're
All
welcome.
right. Ben Himes. Where'd he go? There he is.
Come on, no screaming and flailing of arms,
All right,
Ben.
is there
Come
anybody in
on.
the house that likes Starbucks? Starbucks gift card.
All right, here's the rule. If you win one of these last prizes, it's like $50 from Amazon and 15 from Starbucks. You need to be a little excited, okay? I'm just gonna put it back in my pocket and walk off stage.
Right? I'm not gonna do it. All right. Rod Heights.
Oh, see, look at him. We have
Rod.
the adults are more excited than the kids. You're welcome.
All right, and for the $50
Now we need the drum roll again,
Amazon
please.
gift card,
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Felicia Parrott.
Where? I hear screaming.
Here she
I
comes.
hear
Here she
screaming.
comes.
Oh, yes.
Awesome. And we want to let you guys know one more thing, too. When you leave, there's going to be an opportunity to have a photo op with Jason David out in the lobby. And also, he has a merch table that you're going to want to check out. He's got a book and DVDs and CDs. Do you have any stuffed animals left?
No stuffed animals.
Oh, Lonnie, the llamas are gone.
He's the only stuffed
But you're going to
animal
want
out
to
there.
check out his merch table, too. So stop by and say hey to him and thank him for coming. And we're just so glad you guys came tonight.
Really quick, stay in your seats. We have our seaters. They're going to dismiss you. That way we don't have everybody rushing the ice cream counter. I know it's exciting, but there's plenty. They're going to dismiss you. We hope you guys have a great night and safe drive home. Thank you guys for coming.
Bye.